life was going sweet. You went to school and you learned a lot since you was a tiny tot. So please do not forget, I say how all these things you come to get. Since you was in your cradle, your mother and your father was responsible. Remember when you couldn't even walk. Remember when you couldn't even talk. I say remember who used to wash your clothes for you, who used to wipe your nose for you, who used to hug and kiss you. I say remember who used to change your diaper, who used to find your supper. Don't forget was your mother and father. Alright, yes sir. When things was going fine, with not a worry on your mind, and when things wasn't so good with you, who was the first ones you would run to? So how could you forget? And up to now you can't pay back yet. Try from now till forever, you could never pay back your mother and father. Remember when you couldn't even walk. Remember when you couldn't even talk. I say remember who used to wash your clothes for you, who used to wipe your nose for you, who used to hug and kiss you. I say remember who used to change your diaper, who used to find your supper. Don't forget was your mother and father. It have some fathers ain't good at all. They never mind you when you was small, but never mind how your father bad. You should.
Yes, indeed. Of course, you will forgive me for, of course, celebrating Father's Day tomorrow, being, of course, that occasion, so that, of course, we could take the liberty as a father to begin the process. In fact, over the road, I'm seeing, of course, the fathers to be and fathers that are, of course, are celebrating, and they said that they are going until, of course, something like when we wake up or stay up for New Year's. It appears that they are staying up for Father's Day, but that is the culture, that is how they operate, and who are me to, of course, deny them of that opportunity. So I had to make a contribution as well. That's the only problem. But that being as it may, have a wonderful program. One, pleasant good night to all and sundry, East, West, North, Central, or friends in Tobago, and wherever you are, streaming on the World Wide Web. A pleasant good day to you. This is just the penultimate day before, of course, Father's Day. So have a wonderful one. Let's play that again. That's an oldie goldie that I found, of course, in the archives. Trying, of course, to avoid all kinds of legal ramifications for playing things that would not have been authorized by the authors. In other words, I'm trying, of course, to stay within the context of the law that refers to, of course, intellectual property, they call it. So let me just play this again because I found it as a calypso, and I don't think I will be infringing any law by, of course, playing it. So let me play it again. And of course, it might be refreshing for those who are more senior than I am. So welcome, of course, to the corridor. How life was going sweet. You went to school and you learned a lot since you was a tiny tot. So please do not forget, I say how all these things you come to get. Since you was in your cradle, your mother and your father was responsible. Remember when you couldn't even walk.
Remember when you couldn't even talk? I say remember who used to wash your clothes for you, who used to wipe your nose for you, who used to hug and kiss you. I say remember who used to change your diaper, who used to find your supper. Don't forget what your mother and father. Alright, yes sir.
Yesterday, of course, on this penultimate, as I said before Father's Day. But of course, we have a very important exercise took place yesterday. Yesterday, was it? Yes, yesterday on Friday. And of course, it's the opening of our employment and resource facility right here on George Street. Yes, we are working. And they can say what they want. Ability is ability. And of course, there is nothing better than to see, of course, your vision, your dream manifest itself or materialize before you. And you have a sense of pride. Let's hear what transpired, as was, of course, recorded by TTT, one of the traditional media television stations. Let's start from the beginning.
In the community's lives will improve. Located on George Street, just above Prince Street in the heart of Port of Spain, is the newly opened Employment and Resource Center. Founded by the members of the Laventil Outreach for Vertical Enrichment, or LOVE, and with the support from the government, business community, and members of the communities of East Port of Spain. Initiative coordinator and political leader of LOVE, Lennox Smith, said the center provides a sense of hope to the communities of Laventil, Beetham, Sealots, Eastern Quarry, Belmont and environs. Mr. Smith revealed 400 persons have already signed up to take advantage of the center's services.
All kinds of things have been tried. But when the community takes charge of its responsibility, when the community takes charge of its destiny, when the community recognizes that it is on itself that the success or the failure of the community relies and rests, then of course you could have nothing more but upward and forward strides.
Heaping praises for the initiative, Minister in the Ministry of Housing, Philip Edward Alexander, pledged the government's support of this initiative. He said the mantra that everyone must win is more than just a political slogan, but the way in which the Prime Minister and the government aims to ensure every person in the community's lives will improve.
I am a very strong man, but in situations like this, I could be moved to tears. I do not accept that this is how our people were left to live. I do not accept that. I reject it. And Lennox spoke about Belmont, and I want to add Gonzales and Casablanca and the communities of people that know that when they call my phone, we will deliver.
The center will assist members of the communities with employment opportunities, the facilitation of social services offered by the government and NGOs. The overall objective is to reduce crime and foster greater community cooperation. Ayana Carter, TTT News.
Yes, I think that's so nice. We'll do it twice.
Employment and Resource Center, founded by the members of the Laventil Outreach for Vertical Enrichment, or LOVE, and located on George Street, just above Prince Street.
Yes, indeed. Let's go through the lines and see if we'll have a better reception tonight. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
A good night to you, Uncle Lennox, and to all your listeners.
Are you hearing me loud and clear?
I heard you on the phone. Right, I get it over on the media, yeah.
All right, good, okay, very important. Let's go, man, let's go. It's about time. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, a pleasant good night to all your listeners and contributors. And share it live. We need the 40,000 to stay alive.
Yes, man.
So, if you have $1, you can donate it. But if you have 4 bobs, we will take that and all too. So, Uncle Lennox, congratulations on your first step forward to show the citizens and my brothers and sisters in your area and where you represent that what neglect is about, and there is hope and the beacon, so that that rocket will take them to new heights and places that they never see what exists. And that rocket, when it takes them out in the galaxy, they will learn that it has things outside there they call other planets, that which keep us alive and keep us floating. Because without that other planet, we cannot exist. So in that parable, I will try to explain it tomorrow night for your listeners. So you are the planet that keep them afloat and sustain, give them the energy to exist. So Uncle Lennox, I would like to use your media to ask for the support, to lobby that our Children's Hospital in Cuba be named the Kamala Prasad SC Children's Hospital while she is alive. And we would like to see that name on the hospital. So if they'll show our regards and appreciation that she take the stand to really serve and to love the children of this nation, which is our future and existence. Because when we get into our golden age, they will be the custodian to keep the wheels of the economics going, and that we will get our benefits of way of pension or market goods. So I thank her, and I want to say thanks very much to our local government minister again, Ms. Karisha Amin, for coming forward and doing and taking her work serious and serving the people, and all other ministers in areas. So I would like to tell the listeners that we have a new commissioner. We didn't intercept no list, and we didn't do no spot check. That now the TTRA is no longer. But I will take 2 minutes extra in your tolerance level. Sorry, callers and listeners. But I would like to put this point on, that this TTRA, when Uncle Lennox was saying that the average kurma doubles water cellar, or he said that you were hustling a little water in your cart and a little sea drink, you would have had to pay tax through your nose, because they were coming to do it in a way to get the money. And the nice thing about that revenue, that money would have been just like the property tax. They say going to the corporation and it disappears. But it would have been a holding company who in there would have put as appointee to select the people to work it. So, and I would like to congratulate my esteemed Member of Parliament, Mr. Dirdat Tanku, better known as Dave Tanku, for his maiden voyage, and he mashed up in there so that we see where the lies anyone knows was existed. Uncle Lennox, you're coming through clear, and I hear you clear, and callers, be free to call and try the system now. A pleasant good night.
Yes,
and happy Father's Day to everybody.
Yes, and same to you, my friend, you and yours. Pleasant, of course, Father's Day as well, of course, celebrated tomorrow. We are in the penultimate, but we are hours away, of course, from the turning of the day into, well, the night into day, let me put it that way. That being as of course, I think he made some very valid points, and that is, of course, the sky is the limit as far as we are concerned. Yes, he's right, and of course, and it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes from the perspective. Remember, Wise, of course, over the last 10 years, I was saying that I will work for the UNC and any configuration for free. But I will I will not do so for the PNM because of their evil. Well, of course, what that center demonstrates, what that facility demonstrates, is that the ability was always there. It's just that I believe it was a waste of time in, of course, supporting and making that government look good, because they were evil, they were criminals, and they were mafia oriented. A bunch of opportunistic political parasites. Look, a couple of months and we already have a facility with over 400 names already to, of course, find work for. But let's go to the lines. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Good night, Lennox.
Good night, my friend.
Lennox,
yes.
And all your listeners on the beat. I want to sincerely congratulate you on cutting the ribbon on your enrichment center. Quite a noble gesture for the upliftment of the people in Laventille and surrounded. However, I want to tell people I enjoyed the second sitting of Parliament. And what happened yesterday, the PNM got 2 doses. I wouldn't say if it's salts, Epsom, Sene, but it was karma. They get it how they like it. Remember how the blue-haired lady is supposed to be?
Yeah, so in other words, the doses of their own medicine that they couldn't take.
And they got Kamala 5 times, 5 debates, showing the longevity and the strength, the vision and the competency of our new general. I think it was chalk and cheese. I think they were beaten into powder and pulp last night. No one on the PNM side possibly could have debated what was the intention of the government and by extension of the people. Small pit. They even caught Amber lying. So they come prepared. So I suspect he has to go before the privilege committee for bringing the parliament into dispute. And I suspect the AG, Jeremy, will do that. He has to go. He had a court matter, he lost. He knew the outcome of it. And he stand up on some standard order and say, you know, what did you use? When something is in court. And
sub judice. They claim it sub judice. They use that card. I mean, they abuse it under Rowley, and well, not Young, but under Rowley's so-called decrepit government.
They beat that card so much it get doggers, and they have somebody who knows about the law, the new speaker. Every time they raise, they say, but what are they talking rubbish? It has nothing like that. When Saddam say your mamu and your uncle, your mom called her hand and your uncle, we have none of those on our side. They is not the uncle, and them jump up and say, what casting as Persian and Union. The speaker, look them up. But what I want to talk about, the Police Service Commission. I could understand the card, the so-called merit list that was dealt. And I think the government handled it properly. To me, that was a sole select list. No opportunity to maneuver. If they didn't vote for that gentleman, then they say same old population, same old thing. Now, listen to this. The last 3 appointments by the POLC had issues that we have to ask some serious questions. They ended up giving Gary Griffith it because KCR wanted it. He ran his top 3, the 4th one got it. KCR, 2 years after, he said he didn't like that one, it's the worst decision. Then we had Erla, and then we had Benjamin for 2 or 3 months. So I have to ask the question, if this fourth choice is a because they have failed 3 times, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
With Sobodzik Gigi, with Erla, and with Benjamin. You only appoint Benjamin for 2 months and you get rid of him already. So that tells me something was wrong with your protocols. You can't be discarding the man just so you can give him a probation for 3 months to access him. You just discard. How come you're using that protocol? And what I'm saying, if you use the same protocol, we can end up with the same result with this gentleman. The other thing I've noticed, I have been pontificating, the whole leadership had to go, all of them. And I believe they went down that road because most of the people at the top have big question to answer. DCP I&I, DCP operation, DCP khaki parts, etc. The judges has basically castigated them for suspect affidavits, all kind of thing. DCP I&I, we still are waiting information on how she ended up by Brent Thomas, all of those things. So I'm saying we have to remove the Police Service Commission and we have to pontificate so they go, because that was some selection based on one of them being KCR neighbor or something in his gate or something like that. That's where you get it. So that is something we have to look careful. Yes, the man appears to have some credibility, integrity, but anything KCR touch turned to the proverbial SHIT. You understand?
Yeah.
If he was the security detail, going back to my analogy, would you put Al Capone, head of his security detail, as the leading police officer in your country? Just think about it. And you know, KCR could be Al Capone, the amount of wrong things he did. Do something on
well, I mean, let's face it, he was the Prime Minister, titular and legit. So, and of course, performed as a total gangster. Go ahead. Yeah.
All right, I go on.
Okay, then, that's fine. But yes, indeed, of course. Yeah, let me get back, of course, to that video where, of course, there was the formal opening of that center.
Founded
that
by
facility.
The members of the Laventil Outreach for Vertical Enrichment, or LOVE, located on George Street, just above Prince Street in the heart of Port of Spain, is the newly opened Employment and Resource Center. Founded by the members of the Laventil Outreach for Vertical Enrichment, or LOVE, and with support from the government, business community, and members of the communities of East Port of Spain. Initiative coordinator and political leader of LOVE, Lennox Smith, said the center provides a sense of hope to the communities of Laventil, Beetham, Sealots, Eastern Quarry, Belmont, and environs. Mr. Smith revealed 400 persons have already signed up to take advantage of the center's services.
All kinds of things have been tried. But when the community takes charge of its responsibility, when the community takes charge of its destiny, when the community recognizes that it is on itself that the success or the failure of the community relies and rests, then of course you could have nothing more but upward and forward strides.
Heaping praises for the initiative, Minister in the Ministry of Housing, Philip Edward Alexander, pledged the government's support of this initiative. He said the mantra that everyone must win is more than just a political slogan, but the way in which the Prime Minister and the government aims to ensure every person in the community's lives will improve.
I am a very strong man, but in situations like this, I could be moved to tears. I do not accept that this is how our people were left to live. I do not accept that. I reject it. And Lennox spoke about Belmont, and I want to add Gonzales and Casablanca and the communities of people that know that when they call my phone, we will deliver.
The center will assist members of the communities with employment opportunities, the facilitation of social services offered by the government and NGOs. The overall objective is to reduce crime and foster greater community cooperation. Ayana Carter, TTT News.
Yes, indeed. Well, of course, the media was there, but of course, I want to share with you, of course, my speech that I prepared. Of course, I want to also commend Minister Philip Alexander for, in spite of the tragic circumstances that were brought on by the inclement weather and the many floods across the country, including, of course, HGC facilities, he made it his duty to, of course, be with us, even though, of course, that particular incident, those circumstances, would have made it imperative that he, of course, generate a prioritization of where he should be. But I suppose the wisdom of the present Prime Minister became evident, because here it is, you would have had two ministers in addition to the substantive minister, aiding, of course, the substantive minister, and therefore the substantive minister and Anil Roberts, one of the ministers in the ministry, could go and attend to the people, so two of them, while he was able, of course, to take some time, not all the time, but take some time in his busy schedule, obviously, brought on or as a consequence of the inclement weather, and there he was with us. I think it was tremendous. It don't normally happen like that, particularly in a PNM administration where they are insensitive, and that every scenario or every organization that would have hosted their own, let's say, program and would like it to be highlighted and to have these individuals, ministers and so on, endorse, whether by serendipity or by common sense or by the application of experience. The fact that you had three ministers in that ministry, they were able to divide their time, and one of which, of course, I would consider to be less priority, even though it would have been priority for us in East Port of Spain, Laventille, Beetham, Sealands, and so on. But of course, for the government, the addressing of the flood and the destruction brought on by the inclement or the torrential rain would obviously, I have no qualms with that would have been their priority. But here it is, a minister still found the time, because of that, what I consider to be division of labor scenario that Kamala Prasad Bisesa, as Prime Minister, introduced into the Ministry of Housing. Well done. Well done. Well done. And while, of course, his time was truncated, and we had, of course, to limit our agenda, our program, the fact of the matter is that here he was. I think it is worth, of course, repeating again. Let's hear it. Just if only to demonstrate the sensitivity and the altruism and the propensity to be people-centered, and to make certain that the small man, the middle man, the big man, everybody get a piece of the government. Let us go again. Let us say it again.
Street in the heart of Port of Spain is the newly opened Employment and Resource Center. Founded by the members of the Laventille Outreach for Vertical Enrichment, or LOVE, and with support from the government, business community, and members of the communities of East Port of Spain. Initiative coordinator and political leader of LOVE, Lennox Smith, said the center provides a sense of hope to the communities of Laventille, Beetham, Sealots, Eastern Quarry, Belmont, and environs. Mr. Smith revealed 400 persons have already signed up to take advantage of the center's services.
All kinds of things have been tried. But when the community takes charge of its responsibility, when the community takes charge of its destiny, when the community recognizes that it is on itself, that the success or the failure of the community relies and rests, then of course you could have nothing more but upward and forward strides.
Heaping praises for the initiative, Minister in the Ministry of Housing, Philip Edward Alexander, pledged the government's support of this initiative. He said the mantra that everyone must win is more than just a political slogan, but the way in which the Prime Minister and the government aims to ensure every person in the community's lives will improve.
I am a very strong man, but in situations like this, I could be moved to tears. I do not accept that this is how our people were left to live. I do not accept that. I reject it. And
we still have, of course, to depend on the phone from time to time. I have to accept that as a fact. So let's pause there and take the call. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Hello, good night. Yeah, I was trying to get on all the time. Like, I know getting through, but it's still, I'm still getting a little bit of freezing and stuff.
All right.
So, you know, but I want to say that today I looked at...
Miss Santa Cruz, just hold on. We have another caller from San Fernando. We'll take you just now.
I want to...
Miss Santa Cruz, are you hearing me?
Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'll hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. You hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. San Fernando. I was talking...
Today I looked at the sitting of Parliament that took place yesterday.
Yes.
Right? And we now getting to understand where the money was going.
Yes. Definitely.
You know?
Yes.
The ghost gangs that was created in the finance ministry.
Why? The amount of ghosts I hear from the Prime Minister, I now understand how what I consider to be satanic the PNM under Rowley has been. It's ghost ministry, it's ghost institutions, it's ghost money and all. I say, my God. But go ahead.
They can't find a building in Barataria or somewhere.
I'm telling you, ghost building and all. Well, yes, excepting Balize House. So we know where all the money went.
So now we know that at least now we get into the bottom of where the 2 billion or so would have gone.
Of course.
and the kind of horrors that the Auditor General had.
Yes, in order because it was about a cover-up, it's a conspiracy to deflect and to deceive and create all kind of shenanigans and excuses and so on. Now we know, but what we know for sure is that 2 billion ain't no ghost money. They must try to make us feel it's ghost money. But go ahead, yeah.
But the next thing is the governor of the central bank. He has said that he swear to a form of secrecy.
Yeah, well, of course they make him understand that that is wishful thinking, and that and he too ain't no ghost. He right there. Yeah, right there. You know, ghost.
So we understand now where the money,
yes.
how they were messing up the works with the treasury.
Yes. We will get to the bottom of all these ghostism. All right. Yeah. All right. Let me take Miss Santa Cruz. A pleasant good night, Miss Santa Cruz. Go ahead.
A pleasant good night to you, Lennox.
Yes.
And first, I want to congratulate you on the opening of that center.
Yes, ma'am.
Lennox, and I wish it prosper and it move from strength to strength, and that everybody who comes there can get help.
Yes,
I really wish that for you, Len.
Thanks very much. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're most welcome, Lennox. Lennox,
hey.
I want to know, I thought this rotten gut lying blank Obia man, he disappeared into thin air. Now we are hearing this rotten gut lying blank racist Obia man telling Kamala, the Prime Minister, that she lied, that he never do anything with no merit list, that he don't know anything about any merit list. Lennox, why that man is lie so?
I saw it.
Admitted in Parliament.
I saw it.
Yeah,
I saw it, but I saw it as comic relief. The man is so baffled. He is so flummoxed. He is so stupefied that all of them seem to be suffering from the fact of the reality that they were never good. That's what they're suffering from. But go ahead.
Lennox, and the man didn't have no shame.
Telling you.
Like he feel that we out here have selective memory syndrome. Maybe he has it. We know he has it. Right? But to come and say that he never see no list, he never take no list. And for months he had the list.
What he does,
but
what he does.
The next thing.
What he does as a strategy.
Go
ahead, you go ahead.
Imbat was getting on like he needs some preparation each. The way he was only jumping out of his seat there yesterday in Parliament.
he feel PNM was in government now. So the speaker going to entertain his theatrics, because all of that was about showmanship and theater. That's all that was about. But for the first time, the speaker was able to show how hollow them fellas are, how hollow they are, intellectually and of course cognitively. Go ahead.
And she told him, "You're not going to distract me." And all who has been talking about Kamala Week and Kamala Week, she showed her strength yesterday. She moved 4 bills. 4 bills she debated, she took part in the debate. Yes. Unlike Weak Belly Penny, who leave and went home. But and he told her yesterday, but I know that is not going to go on for the next 5 years. Because you saw how we pull up Scotland. And Marvin Gonzalez. And the next one, I don't know. He's a new one. I don't know his name. Right, you pull him up because when he was talking about the Arima Hospital.
Who cares? They are personal non grata. They are out of our.
Lennox. Exactly.
Yeah, they have been purged.
Right, he put them in their places.
Yes. They have been purged.
And
go ahead.
one of the things that if Imbert had responded, he should have taken to the parliamentary privileges. I get tongue-tied tonight. For lying to the Parliament about something being sub judice.
Yeah.
Right? But and you know who I admire, Lennox? And I gave him a standing ovation. That young man from Labrie.
Yes.
Yes.
The former TSCT trade union.
Elder.
Workers trade union. Yeah. Telecommunication trade union.
And for his maiden speech in Parliament, he took flight, Lennox. But you know, the PNMites, the naysayers, the ugly hearts on them, they were laughing at Roger Alexander. But I find Roger Alexander did very good. They couldn't stand up and talk like how Roger Alexander talked. Right? They couldn't do it, but they're laughing at the man. They forget we had Eddie Hart, PNM had Eddie Hart. They had Eulalie James. They had Alicia Hospitalis, who used to talk a set of nonsense, and they had Paula Gopi School, who used to talk a whole set of nonsense and laughing at the man, but I find he did very good.
Well, let me tell you this.
One word he mispronounced.
But let me tell you, let me tell you this, because I had my own let's say encounter with Alexander at one point, but let me tell you this.
Yeah.
He has to be commended. Let me repeat. He has to be commended because he moved the motion, you know. He moved the motion for the consideration of Commissioner of Police. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
That's a big move. So none of them could fit in that shoe. None of those who you mentioned and those who are in the Parliament there. In fact, if Penny had to leave, it means therefore the truth does offend and she had to run.
Yeah.
That's all. Go ahead.
And Lennox, they also ridiculed They really, you know, they have the little posse on the workers' right platform.
Yes.
And they also ridiculed Jagdev Singh, the speaker. But I will also tell them, look at where Jagdev Singh is and look at where you all are. The man is a senior counsel. You all can walk in his shoes. He's educated, unlike all you. But Lennox, we know we have 5 years. We're going to get 5 years of this, and we are prepared for them.
Yes.
They push on this UNC government, we are going to push back.
That's all.
Lennox,
very simple.
You take care
the rules
have
are
a good
clear.
night.
Yes, same to you, my dear. The rules are clear. The rules are pellucid. In fact, I loved when the speaker told them, well, listen, sub judice is not automatic. It is within certain circumstance. And of course, it is to be considered within a compendium of circumstances. I love that term, compendium, meaning that a number of amount of a group of, you cannot, in other words, deal with it isolatedly and have a one cut to fit all. No, that is what Imbert got in that parliament yesterday. A clinical and expert, reputable lawyer who is now the speaker of the parliament, and he was able, of course, to tell them, you don't abuse, in other words, the standing order with respect, of course, to sub judice. Lovely, my friend, and I know him very, very well. I will be communicating with him very soon to, of course, not only commend him, but to also, of course, tell him that I love the way how he was able to extrapolate and to explain that the abuse of the standing order will not be tolerated in the context of sub judice. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Hello, good night.
Hey.
You hear me good?
Loud and clear, my friend.
Well, boy, you hear that government make that opposition look so totish. I suppose they was hoping that Bridget Manager George appear to help them out.
Yeah, they thought so.
They thought they was hoping to see Manager George come and help them out. Let me give you an example.
Yeah, they're always playing unfair. They're always looking for an unfair advantage in their favor by orchestrating and choreographing such advantage. But now that they are laid bare, we see the underbelly and how incompetent, impotent, and of course, how dunderheaded they are. Go ahead, my friend.
Right. Let me start with Gatsby Dolly. You could imagine this woman start off by attacking the UNC between 2010 and 2015 and saying that Kamala and him appointed a senator who wanted to keep child marriage alive. You imagine that? But the speaker said she wanted to withdraw that. And she said that woman brought a stain on the parliament. The speaker tell her to withdraw that. She said, okay, so I'll continue. She said, no. I said to withdraw that.
Very good.
Imagine that what she come in, Lennox. Gone back to that.
Yes.
Child marriage. They have nothing to talk. Right? The next one, this army man. But I want him to comment on what he said, why Lennox.
I haven't yet got the displeasure to listen to that with the irksomeness that it engenders to one's ears. But of necessity, I have to, in order to respond to people like yourself or to add to what you have to say about these matters. So it has given you ache, but I have to, of course, listen. But go ahead.
Yeah. Now the next one, Imbert, they were discussing the children life fund, right?
Yes.
And they pretending that they care about the children life fund so much. When Kamala showing them that in the last 10 years, they help one child. Their children die and all this thing, right?
Yes.
But the pretending that they care. But in what exposing, you see where it's stupid, Lennox?
Yeah.
And you want to lie? Here we are, man, say that. The man attacked the British boy. He said the British leave us with the burden. You know, I don't miss nothing.
Yes.
You know what the children life was a burden to them? Man said that. This is why they never help out no children. And children died. But they take money from that to help out Maxi Coffee, eh?
Of course.
Right. But with all the material he gets it from them fellas. That's what he say.
Yeah.
The British leave us with that burden. That was not good. That was a good thing the British leave us. Now, don't tell me I'll be in my open here now, eh?
Tell me.
I'm going to talk about Roger Alexander. He called on the Parliament to approve this fella Guevara every name, right?
Yes, Guevara.
And the speaker, but he did a brilliant job because he well versed in law. You know that, I know that.
Yes.
The speaker said, before you say that we approve it, give us a little idea about the fella. Right? And he started to bring all kind of credentials. He have this degree and that degree, blah, blah, blah. And he went on to say, well, I listened to it to hear about his crime fighting ability. He went on to talk that the man went to the Arthur Lockjack Institute and all of that.
Right.
That is saying nothing, Lennox. He never mentioned once what the man know about crime fighting. And right now, you know just as well as I, what we need is somebody who could fight crime.
Yes.
And the only man we know to date that could fight crime with a proven track record is Johnny Abraham. But I guess you can't recommend him because you're out of the service.
Well, in fact, he did not apply. So you can't consider him at all at any level.
Johnny didn't apply?
No, he didn't apply. So if he didn't apply, so he couldn't be considered at all.
But I didn't know that he didn't apply, but I wondering why.
Yeah.
Right? Because
He may not have reached the academic criteria. You know, you have to have a master's degree in something equivalent
That's
to.
why I disagree with that.
Yeah.
If you have a master's degree and I see that? To me?
Well, if you are a good crime fighter and a good commissioner in this context, you will be able, of course, as the commander-in-chief, if you want to call that, of the police service, to recruit those persons and to assemble them and to deploy them where their expertise can be best be utilized. Otherwise, of course, you are a poor manager. So that's all I can say with respect to that. So there's no need to. I could be a businessman, but don't know anything. Let's say about computers or cameras. But of course, if I get somebody who can, is in the field, I'll be able to still have a successful business. But go ahead.
Well, if you have to be seen, how much you going to help with this crime fighting?
Yes, of course, yes.
Right, but you know Johnny proven and tested. Well, I didn't know that he didn't apply.
Yeah. But nothing wrong in him bringing Johnny back if necessary and contract and so on, because he has that elasticity. He has that option or those options
to bring him back.
Yeah, he can do that on contract. Yes.
Because I am in saying no words here, Lennox. You know, everybody know, Cameron Chisel know. Johnny Abraham is the only man proven and tested that could fight crime in this country. So I hope you say take place and he called for Johnny to come back.
Yeah, and fighting crime, a fellow like Johnny probably will could sit behind a desk and give directions, etc. and train at the same time on the job experiences. So there are a number of options that are available to the Commissioner of Police because of the wide range of responsibility he would have had, and that is so because you don't want politicians to fetter and in spite of the fact that we have seen, of course, in recent times under the PNM how a commissioner could be frustrated, manipulated, and therefore rendered, of course, ineffective in terms of fighting crime. Yes, yes.
I hope he's not somebody to be manipulated and all of that.
Well, I hope so too.
And stand his ground.
Yes.
And my advice to him is to call Johnny, get him in the action as quickly as possible.
Well, I'm sure if they are listening or if they have the tentacles out, they will listen to people like yourself, who, of course, have made certain meticulous observations, and therefore your recommendation, I think, is well grounded.
Yeah, Lennox.
Yeah.
Johnny shut down all crime in Central.
Yes.
Fellas are afraid to go in there. If you come in here, you're not coming back home.
Right.
Till people start to sleep with the window open and all them thing again.
That's right.
So Johnny is a must. And if the commissioner live it, partner, get in touch with Johnny and get him back in the thing as quickly as possible.
Beautiful. I'm sure that they're listening. Yes.
All right. Well, take it easy.
Take it easy as well, my friend. People, of course, at this juncture, let me say that we will be looking at the programming of the corridor transformation. It may range from, of course, cutting down. Maybe we may go to an hour, cut it in half, because there's so many other things that has to be done. As you know, I have taken, of course, the responsibility of this facility. But certainly during the course of the day, we will also be having some bulletins, for want of a better term. And I was just, of course, it will be announced so soon, but I was just given the chairmanship of the Toko Foundation. They have a radio station and all of that. So that it appears that I will be stretched, but I will find a way, of course, to still bring the corridor transformation. I think is crucial. But even Toko, maybe we'll have a broadcast from Tobago as well to facilitate, of course, the Tobago community. I want to tell you as well that on Tuesday, I will be meeting with the Minister of Defense, Sir Wayne Sturge, on the behest of the Prime Minister, based on certain discussions that we would have had. I'm not going to go into the details, but I thought on my own program, I need, of course, to share that with you, so that I think things are going to be moving pretty speedily. And what people were hoping to happen, they say, be careful what you wish for, because many were saying that it's about time Lennox Smith get to begin, of course, to do what he knows and could do best. And they have identified all kinds of positions. But to see what is happening now, it means, therefore, in the not too distant future, I have to be stretched so thin that it means that I may have to reduce the amount of time I spend with you in the night. That is the reality. And of course, but let us play it by ear. Let us, of course, recognize that that is how the challenges are, and we have no choice but, of course, especially where it is positive, particularly concerns of the society in terms of security. Our young people are engaging, of course, in violent acts in and out of school, and maybe on the way, and well, out of school will also mean on the way to school, or from school, or in the home, or in their villages, as the case may be. And we have to treat with that if we are to, of course, generate the prosperity by way of economic advancement and opportunities and diversification that is required. So I just say, let me tell you that. In the meantime, let us go back, of course, and complete that media event that, of course, covered the opening or the cutting of the ribbon of our employment and resource facility right here on George Street. And it was a very, very pleasant occasion for me, as I was saying earlier, to see that something you thought of blossom and materialize before your very eyes. And I want to tell you as well, that same thing could have been done whilst Rowley and them were wrong. But they're so evil, they're so wicked. I want to tell you as well, for probably the first time, that the very 1,000-page document that I gave to the present Prime Minister while she was in opposition and looking for solutions to the socio-economic and psycho-cultural problems of the country for when she gets into office. I want to tell you it's the same document I sent to Rowley in 2015 when he started as Prime Minister. I never got a response. I did it again at the end of their term in 2015 by courier, by domestic courier, through TST, through TT Post. I didn't get a response. I heard him, however, once or twice in the Finance Committee phase of manifesting, or should I say, examining the budget in one of those budgets. And an organization called, I think it had a name, Mova Laventil. And his eyes opened up big. And it attracted his attention. And he was animated. And he said, that is the Mova Laventil Improvement Organization, words to that effect. But then when he was told that it had nothing to do with Lennox Smith, he said, oh, that because I'm telling him as it is for 10 years that he's a rapist and a pedophile and still is. It can't wash away, Rowley. But you are out of office, so there's nothing you can do. I will be there, and if it's for free, I will work for the UNC, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, and the coalition of interest to make certain that people like you and the PNM never again see of. And we will take Laventil. I rest assured we will take Laventil on the next occasion. Let's go to the lines. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Good night, Mr. Lennox.
Good night to you, my friend. Yes, man.
Mr. Lennox,
hey.
Listen now. Them fellas are them bam palpitating, boy.
Yes.
I see him both in the parliament yesterday, like a Jack Spanner stinging my bum. Because the way he got up there, boy, I say, oh Lord, after Kamala, after anti-camps, the honorable anti-camps, we don't take the list that you read out there about all them ghost gag, you understand? And about hilarious. You understand? But this time he better answer to the finance minister. These men are them so damn evil.
Want you to observe.
When you talk about Rolly can lie. Yeah. He Kamala lie and one can have back around.
But what you to observe something.
We don't forget.
I want you
we
to
see
observe
all the evil, wicked things all they do in this country.
Yeah.
You're saying something?
Yes. I want you to observe something. That in all of the revelations, let me repeat, in all of the revelations, the multi revelations, the monolithic and many parts revelation. Notice she says only that we'll have to find out. Notice she projected them any blue lights or silver bracelets. Notice that.
Obviously,
so,
I think
but they're worried like hell. Why it is that she ain't saying that? Because they're trying, of course, to probe and to get her, of course, and to say something like that, so they could, of course, talk to the sycophants before the final investigation and the outcome that will, of course, affect them. So they're looking, of course, to be preemptive, but they ain't getting no chance because she has not said anything about silver bracelets, or put another way, anything about jail, nothing about court, nothing like that, except she wants to find out where the money went. I think that was brilliant. But they know
brilliant.
That what will happen to them when the investigation is completed, they know what is going to happen, but they cannot, of course, tell their sycophants and their what I consider to be
minions.
Yeah, they're minions. Yes, a very good term. They're minions, or put another way, those persons who they believe would be engaged in subversive acts in order to protect them, these bunch of vipers. So well done, Kamala, well done. Go ahead, my friend.
Well, one more thing I want to say is, listen, I like how the Honorable Auntie Kamala dealing with them, because right now, them fellas have nightmares. They can't sit down properly, they can't sleep properly, because
they don't know.
They don't know what is the next move.
Yeah, she have them. She have them in a frenzy. They're pensive. They're looking over the shoulder. They're paranoid. Boy, you name it, they have it. Yeah.
Boy, they had to answer, Mr. Lennox. They had to answer.
Of course.
Anyway, God bless I God. I can call back later.
And the answer is that you don't need any witness. The paperwork speak for themselves. When that auditor moves into the central bank, I sorry for Hiller, the former Minister of Finance, that joker, that charlatan, that quack. What I know, however, from all what I'm hearing, all what they would have not been able to account for, just watch Balize House. Watch Balize House. That's all I'm saying. There must be a nexus between that and Balize House. Only too damn greedy, and only too damn, as the Tobagonian will say, thief, and only too damn wicked, self-serving, idiotic, and believe that somehow only could do that in perpetuity and not to be, of course, accounted to the 1-point-something million people besides all you, who you all have, of course, distressed of their resources. And you have the audacity to be there. You, Al-Rari should resign one time, because if he felt that because of the silence that was deafening as far as his iniquities and his family and he himself, raid on the treasury would have been washed over, would have been overlooked. You have something else coming. You're a damn fool. Pleasant good night. Welcome. If you feel it, just so it would have happened. You cannot steal people.
Good night.
Good night.
Yes, Lennox.
Hey.
Parliament was really exciting.
Yes.
Yesterday till this morning, I watched that, Lennox.
I can imagine.
And I can't believe, again, a little feedback.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, and I can't believe to see Colum Imbert respond. Oh my God, that man was so arrogant. And he talking like if he is on the other side, he is government. And the way how he responded back to Ms. Kamala Persad, Prime Minister, right? He with so much arrogance, hate, animosity. Brian Manning, all of them, and you know what Colum Imbert, all of them, facial expression and body language says a lot about them. Colum Imbert, when he was talking, he never looked at them eye to eye and respond. He always have his head bent. That is when you're freaking guilty. Right? Because he didn't watching them and talking, his head was always bent. And how come the PNM stuck in 2010 to 2015? What about 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25? They forget them there? Them years? When they was in government? They blaming Kamala them now coming into government. And then blaming Steve for money wasted and things like that. It's like, what the hell?
Let me tell you what I think. Go ahead, finish. You finish.
So much of garbage that they're talking.
Yeah, boy.
And I think, don't feel no however, but you see that Speaker of the House, I feel like he kind of moving like half dead though.
Who's that?
And he giving them. And here this, what I realized. The Speaker of the House giving them too much leeway, the opposition. Remember, and they're taking all that time, because they know that the public is watching them, they're taking all that time that that Speaker of the House given them to manipulate the people, to manipulate the system. And the people, what may have some people going to fall into their trap again by listening to them constantly. He's supposed to be cutting them if they come in with foolishness and they're not bringing the relevant. He's supposed to cut them off, because look how Manning throwing words at Saddam Hussein. All that they call for, the government is there. Let the government talk and say what they have to do for Trinidad and Tobago. The PNM must not get that kind of leeway to talk all the time, and he just like there. It's like we need a speaker to say, listen, so by so is the case, and be stern and firm in what you say. Not like a daddy on this, and you're talking to children, right? And I kind of don't like that, because I kind of get frustrated too, But when I tell you Parliament going so good now, I think Parliament for me have become a soap opera now, and I'm not going to miss it one day.
One bit.
I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to repeat it again and watch where I missed out and things like that. I'm going to repeat watching it, because Lennox, you know that Penny and another member had left early, and she's the opposition leader.
Well, the truth does offend, so people had to leave. The truth does offend. People had to leave. They can't take it.
Yeah, we should get up to pack up the judge bundle and leave. Then you want to say you want to work for the people of Trinidad and Tobago and use the opposition leader, and you get up and you leave, and Kamala had all our ministers with her until they close up. That is stupidness. That PNM have to go, Lennox. They have to go. They have to vanish forever.
They have gone, banished, right? That is the term. I thought you said go, because they have taken the first, the people have taken the first step already. They are out of office. Now they have to go forever, banished forever. I agree with that term. That is the term. They must become extinct.
They can't give them, and they can't give them too much leeway in Parliament, because they're talking foolishness. And what they're using that manipulating way to manipulate their PNM mites, and the PNM, and they keep saying the UNC thief, They keep singing that song, and when you keep saying them things according to where you just say, Lennox, you start to be freaking believe it. You understand? So the Speaker of the House has to come better than that, man.
All right, I'm sure that he will be reviewing how he performed, and from time to time, and we'll have to make the necessary adjustments. At least that is what I do every night on this program.
Because the next two women who was there, the Kangaloo woman and the other woman, what made them shut down UNC? They shut down UNC when they was bringing irrelevant points.
Yes.
Well, Lennox, it was nice talking to you. Thank you.
Same here. Nice seeing you, man. Yeah. Have a nice one as well. We will meet and we will continue to talk.
Lennox, I know you tried calling me a few times.
Yes.
But I couldn't take your call because my sister got a stroke, so I'm not working anymore.
No problem.
So I just take care of her.
All right. Okay. No problem. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Lennox.
Bye-bye. Yes, indeed. Oh, God. I was going to make a prediction. You know, I love to make predictions. All my predictions so far have materialized. Short, that they had to call elections early. They were decimated in Tobago in the THA elections. I said that they will lose the entire Tobago election machinery, or indeed their currency in Tobago. They have no currency in Tobago. They have no power in Tobago. And of course, I predicted 39 seats in Trinidad. Well, of course, I will accept, of course, a landslide, which of course is what transpired. 26 seats, not 20. Not 21 as some people are saying, and 22, and it's going to be, and all the pollsters saying it's going to be, of course, a close one. No. With a distant distant licks, right? Like horse racing. It's not known by no neck. It's by furlongs. But let's go to the line. A pleasant good night. Welcome.
Hey, Lennox Smith again.
Yes.
I want to disagree with your last caller.
Go ahead.
The speaker did a fantastic job with her.
All right.
But she got accustomed to hear and he said, George, telling her one I ain't allowing this and I ain't allowing that. Right?
Yeah.
The speaker know the law. Everybody have fair chance.
Right.
When they was trying to hang on to some, what do you call it?
The sub judice, yeah.
Sub judice.
Yeah.
He said that is not no steadfast.
Yeah, that's not automatic. That's not automatic. It's a series of things that you have to consider. In fact, he used the term compendium of circle.
Yeah.
I love that word too bad.
Yeah, he said you can talk about that. You let them know that.
I think that is being considered for taking it to the next stage of appeal. You can't say that it's sub judice. You're considering it. How the hell is sub judice?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not even in court. You are considering to go to court. It cannot be sub judice.
So the last speaker, and he said George and them don't know the law. This speaker Jack, you know the law, you know that.
Yes.
And he tell them that, he tell him about that. And him what was lying in any case.
Right.
Because the case in point was that finished since February, and he still trying to bring that ring card. That is hammer in him.
Yeah, but I think of the person who first was the victim of Imsbert's interruption, because it was really interruption and trying to, of course, to deflect and to throw them off course. But he was insistent. He said, "Do not try to obfuscate my contribution by, of course." And then he asked for injury time. I think he was excellent.
That was a boss.
Yes.
Ever destroy them? I almost sure Lennox.
Yeah.
Even the checky jockey short, he do something in there. he must, and the speaker compliment the boy.
Yes.
For his first appearance. So,
yeah.
The speaker did a good job. He called her accustomed and he said, George, who ain't know nothing. I objected to everything UNC used to say. This speaker ain't going to operate like that. That's why he tell Alexander, before you say approve this guy.
Yeah.
For commissioner police.
Well, you have to debate, and the whole purpose of that is for debate to at least get the qualities of the individuals, get some background information, and you have to share that with the public, and of course those members of the parliament that have to share and make the decision to either yea or nay before they can, of course, make an assessment. You can't just give me a piece of paper and say he's a good man and can't tell me why I must see it your way. Why I must see it your way. You know, it doesn't operate like that. So that's probably lack of experience, but I suppose over time Alexander will get his way.
But look, you know as well as I, Jack Joseph, you are the best lawyers in this country.
Yes.
Right? And now that he's speaker, you will control the parliament.
Yeah, of course. There are those who like the aggression and the bias, aggressive bias, like what Anissa George and of course Kangaloo did. But that is sickening. That is to the objective mind, you know, and to the principle of furthering the concept of democracy, where of course it also means that while of course the majority will have their way, the minority must have their say, and it must be done in circumstances where one can feel justified, both the deliverers and of course the population, that they did their best to give another side of a particular story, and it was facilitated by the presiding officers, whether it be the Speaker or whether it be, of course, the President of the Senate. Yes, yes.
Manning tried to accuse him of something, Saddam Hussein, and he showed him with Saddam Hussein and say nothing but he. Right?
Yeah.
While he said, the man said nothing about you. He made a reference to Malcolm Jones and somebody else, and called that. He wasn't talking to Manning, to Brian Manning. And he telling the speaker that Saddam Hussein, he said, it's not you he's talking to. Saddam Hussein said, nobody on this side, that is Saddam Hussein on them side.
Mm-hmm.
They had no call that and Malcolm Jones on their team. Or nobody who buy $3 million paintings and all this thing. All that could be point of money. So Jack, you think I can show me not you he's talking to. Like they tell you, drop all of them is well enough.
Yeah, well, that's it. And as I say, showmanship is theatrics, and once you do them, you will see. Well, I'm going to make a prediction in a while, if you would allow me.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Goodbye.
Yes. Bye bye. Yes. Yes. I'm going to make a prediction now. As I said, I predicted, of course, they are going to call election early. I predicted that they will lose totally in Tobago, which they have at both levels, the THA as well as the national level or the parliamentary level. I predicted, of course, that in Trinidad you will get, of course, 39 seats. There are those, of course, who were saying, well, you know, UNC lucky if they get 21, etc. And, of course, the big-time, should I say, pollsters was in the same vein. I noticed now that NACTA is saying something totally different. How, of course, Kamala Persad-Bissessa's approval rating and her popularity is in the 80s, 85%. Yeah, and that they're moving a wave of popularity. And of course, on the other hand, the opposition seem to be in shambles, seem to be in a state of fragmentation. Yeah, well, first time I see the NACTA being perfectly correct. But all the time, 21 seats, etc. No, landslide in all your tails. That is what we predicted on the ground report, and we predicted right here on the corridor. Just not waste time. But them getting the money though, hundreds of thousands of dollars for that kind of prediction that is bogus in order to try to sway people's minds away from the truth of what the PNM really is. Well, let me make a prediction tonight. I'm saying tonight that don't be surprised if Imbert either very hardly, let me repeat, very hardly, very sparsely, very limitedly attend Parliament when it is called, when it is convened. Imbert, I'm talking about here. Manning to a lesser extent. And the same is applicable to Alwari in the upper house. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. The kind of heat and embarrassment that they in particular will be subjected to, they would see it on, it doesn't worth their while to come in that Parliament. And of course, their ego and their supercilious disposition, their arrogance and their contempt for the people, and therefore it will deepen when they stop coming or hardly come to Parliament. Watch and see. Imbert will not be able to accept that Rowley is out there away from the prying eyes of all of us, and to face the humiliation of being in opposition. Imbert can't take that. That is my prediction. That is my prediction, people. Watch and see. It's early days yet. Early days yet. We had a fella, what is his name? He was the representative for Port of Spain South, yes, where Scotland is. Gordon Draper, yes, that's the man, Gordon Draper. He never came to the parliament almost when the UNC was in government and the PNM was in opposition. Hardly came, always out of the country. Imbert will be in the country, but the parliament will be of no interest to him because he cannot, of course, wield any power. He will be made to sit and stand. And he projected, of course, our image of total and absolute narcissism, in control, large and in charge, having the short man syndrome, you know, the short men, like Eric Williams, the short, and they have a psychological issue. So therefore, for them to appear to be tall, they have to talk in a particular way, act in a particular way, and he does play, you know it all. Well, today, of course, yesterday in Parliament, of course, he got a dose of that and he was made to sit. And he was made to know that he cannot use this disruptive interference by you playing that you know the standing orders and somehow could beat each chest. Them games over. And when he realized he cannot use those kinds of shenanigans, the parliament will be of no use to him. Especially when we know $2 billion gone, and we know that, of course, he as minister, as my colleague used to say, why he not taking holidays? Why he not taking holidays? I leave it there. Because he loves to send pre-action protocol letter, you know. He loved to send that. He sent it to one of my colleagues, but I'm waiting for whatever, as Cho Chung found out, you do not interfere with the anointed and those who are blessed with sincerity and commitment to the people. As we're saying that, let us complete, of course, that video, and we have another one that contained, of course, my speech that I wrote, but I didn't have the time to, of course, read it out because of the truncated time that Philip Alexander could have spent with us. So therefore, we had to preempt the entire program that we had planned. But nonetheless, the presence was critical, powerful, and resonated with the national community. And indeed, the community right around here, they were elated. Watch at their faces and so on. In fact, tonight, one of the young boys say, oh, look me in the background there. all of that. That is what you do when you give people opportunities for their ego to soar and for them to realize that they are humans too and that they can do what people say is impossible, particularly when it is positive. Let's complete.
Of people that know that when they call my phone, we will deliver.
The center will assist members of the communities with employment opportunities, the facilitation of social services offered by the government and NGOs. The overall objective is to reduce crime and foster greater community cooperation. Ayana Carter, TTT News.
So that is that,
George
people.
Street, just above Prince Street.
So that is that. Let's get my speech, and that should take us right up to 10 o'clock because it's 9:55 now. So let's get that quickly, and my speech should complete the program. Let me just get that on the. I had it just now there on targeted. Let me make sure. Yes. Oh boy. All right. Let me just get it. Why am I not getting it? I had it just now. Let's see. Boy. No, that's not it. That's not the front one. Let me get it. Otherwise, I'll play over that one again. Like it don't want me to stop. Let me just make sure I'm seeing it. I saw it earlier. How am I not getting this? Oh, okay. Yeah, I have it here. Lennox speech. So, listen to the speech that I prepared for that occasion.
Friday, 13th June 2025. Address by Mr. Lennox Smith on the occasion of the formal opening of the MLS Empowerment Resource Center, Employment and Resource Facility. Honorable Ministers in the Ministry of Housing, Mr. Anil Roberts, Mr. Philip Alexander, members of the community, leaders, the business community, the youths of the area, and stakeholders all, a pleasant good morning and welcome to the formal opening of MLS Empowerment Resource Center, Employment and Resource Facility. I would like to thank the ministers for responding to our invitation to cut the ribbon. It must be noted that this facility, for us, represents a major shift and focus on social, economic, and infrastructural interventions by the residents and for the residents. We believe that true and sustainable development and human capacity improvement rest in the hands of citizens. We also recognize the facilitatory role of government and state entities. After all, it is accepted and understood that government must generate the policy, technical, and specialized ecology to better the lives of the citizenry. The cumulative consequence of this cooperative relationship tantamount to improved quality of life and standard of living. Moreover, and most importantly, is equitable prosperity, peace, and security. This facility is designed to support this symbiotic relationship between citizens and a government that is people-centered, acting in the best interest of the nation. This center, therefore, offers the following free-of-charge services. 1. Bringing potential employees with that of employers via a database mechanism. 2. Provide rudimentary training in preparation for job interviews and ancillary requirements. 3. Access and direct clients and residents to welfare services, once qualified. 4. Provide entrepreneurial and business capacity building for those who are so inclined. 5. Deliver counseling and conflict resolution interventions. 6. Act as an advocate for community concerns relating to infrastructure, housing, utilities, health, education, sport, environmental improvement, etc. In short, our effort is multifaceted and multidimensional to facilitate positive development and reduce criminal behaviors, gang warfare, and reduction, while promoting all-round improvement in the targeted communities. We believe that the negative social issues cannot be solved by law enforcement only. It requires a collective, sincere effort on the part of all stakeholders. Once again, on behalf of all of us, we thank both ministers for attending and formally opening this facility. Thank you. Lennox Smith, Director, MLS Empowerment Resource Center. Friday, 13th June 2025.
So people, that is what I prepared, of course, as a formal speech for that occasion. Of course, I didn't get a chance to read it out, but certainly, of course, technology will provide the ability to mix, of course, the speech inside, of course, what transpired, and you saw a beautiful, of course, presentation. Maybe, of course, I know that some people may be wanting more. We just have about 2 minutes again, but let me just use the opportunity before that to say Happy Father's Day to all fathers once again. May you, of course, live for more, and may your offsprings greet you and serve you, and of course have something nice in store for you. I want to say, as I did on Mother's Day, to be a little bit contradictory, meaning that for all fathers that act, or should I say that all fathers that act as mothers, please, we commend you as well, in particular, because of course it is important that we make certain that we nurture our offsprings to the best of our abilities, and to have them, of course, be brought up in a way that they can contribute to the society and conform to some of the punctilio, some of the etiquettes, some of the principles, some of the social, some of the values that we all that we all, of course, would have inculcated or would have been subjected to while, of course, in the family and, of course, associated with other institutions of social control, such as the schools, the church. I don't want to go to the courts, just the schools and churches, and of course, NGOs and CBOs and other institutions that find themselves playing the role to guide and to, of course, nurture. All of you, happy Father's Day. Let's go back, of course, and start that clip again, and we can end with that. And, of course, rendition by, I think, the Mighty Sparrow on the whole question of Father's Day. And, of course, I think he co-mingled it, so his father and mother, because he talks about parents.
Friday, 13th June 2025. Address by Mr. Lennox Smith on the occasion of the formal opening of the MLS Empowerment Resource Center, Employment and Resource Facility. Honorable Ministers in the Ministry of Housing, Mr. Anil Roberts, Mr. Philip Alexander, members of the community, leaders, the business community, the youths of the area, and stakeholders all, a pleasant good morning and welcome to the formal opening of MLS Empowerment Resource Center, Employment and Resource Facility. I would like to thank the ministers for responding to our invitation to cut the ribbon. It must be noted that this facility, for us, represents a major shift and focus on social, economic, and infrastructural interventions by the residents and for the residents. We believe that true and sustainable development and human capacity improvement rest in the hands of citizens. We also recognize the facilitatory role of government and state entities. After all, it is accepted and understood that government must generate the policy, technical, and specialized ecology to better the lives of the citizenry. The cumulative consequence of this cooperative relationship tantamount to improved quality of life and standard of living. Moreover, and most importantly, is equitable prosperity, peace, and security. This facility is designed to support this symbiotic relationship between citizens and a government that is people-centered, acting in the best interest of the nation. This center, therefore, offers the following free-of-charge services. 1. Bringing potential employees with that of employers via a database mechanism. 2. Provide rudimentary training in preparation for job interviews and ancillary requirements. 3. Access and direct clients and residents to welfare services, once qualified. 4. Provide entrepreneurial and business capacity building for those who are so inclined. 5. Deliver counseling and conflict resolution interventions. 6. Act as an advocate for community concerns relating to infrastructure, housing, utilities, health, education, sport, environmental improvement, etc. In short, our effort is multifaceted and multidimensional to facilitate positive development and reduce criminal behaviors, gang warfare, and reduction, while promoting all-round improvement in the targeted communities. We believe that the negative social issues cannot be solved by law enforcement only. It requires a collective, sincere effort on the part of all stakeholders. Once again, on behalf of all of us, we thank both ministers for attending and formally opening this facility. Thank you. Lennox Smith, Director, MLS Empowerment Resource Center. Friday, 13th June 2025. Address by Mr. Lennox Smith on the occasion.
Yes, people, of course, we have come to the end of tonight's program. I trust that you have been well, should I say, I don't want to use the word entertained because it's serious business. So I say well informed. And then, of course, tomorrow night, if I do not attend, it's because I have a Father's Day engagement. So if I do not attend to you tomorrow night, certainly you'll see me on Monday night. And of course, don't forget, Monday morning, the ground report, Andy and myself. And there is a reason, there's an additional reason why I may not be attending tomorrow. I have to prepare some documents for the government on the matters that I mentioned earlier. So, have a wonderful rest of the night. God bless. Bye-bye.
things was going fine, with not a worry on your mind. And when things wasn't so good with you, who was the first ones you would run to? So how could you forget? And up to now you can't pay back yet. Try from now till forever, you could never pay back your mother and father. Remember when you couldn't even walk? Remember when you couldn't even talk? I say remember who used to wash your clothes for you, who used to wipe your nose for you, who used to hug and kiss you. I say remember who used to change your diaper, who used to find your supper. Don't forget was your mother and father. It have some fathers ain't good at all. They never mind you when you were small, but never mind how your father bad. You shouldn't take it on too hard. Try to understand what would be your position if wasn't for your daddy. You would never have a dear mommy. Remember when you couldn't even walk? Remember when you couldn't even talk? I say remember who used to wash your clothes for you, who used to wipe your nose for you, who used to hug and kiss you. I say remember